Welcome to Time Well Spent, a podcast from LaborSync, the only real-time multilingual timesheet software your business will ever need. So imagine you are looking at your quarterly P&L statement, right? And you suddenly realize that 20% of your operational budget just completely vanished.
Wow. Yeah, that is a pretty terrifying thought.
Right. And it is just because, maybe two of your vans crossed paths on the highway going in totally opposite directions. So today on Time Well Spent, our mission is to unpack our research from a recent LaborSync blog article on field operations.
Yeah, we are looking really closely at how to stop that invisible margin erosion, the kind that happens when field crews are just, well, dispatched blindly.
Exactly. And managing field operations can feel a lot like firefighting, but, without a hose.
Oh, absolutely. It is an incredibly common drain on resources. I mean, when you manage people on the move, variables change by the minute. But the core finding from our research is that accepting all that operational friction as just normal is a massive structural mistake.
Well, let's look at a really classic dispatch miscommunication from the blog article. So a tech is sitting on Oak Street, but the dispatcher actually meant Park Street.
Oh, I've seen that 100 times.
Right. Usually a manager will just kind of sigh, reroute the tech, and write it off as the cost of doing business. But why do we just normalize these little logistical hiccups?
I think it is mostly because the cost does not show up as a neat little line item on a budget. It functions as this invisible drain.
Like a hidden tax or something.
Exactly like a hidden tax. When a tech spends 20 extra minutes driving across town because of a bad address, you're not just paying for their fuel and their hourly wage.
Right. You lose the time for the next job, too.
You hit the nail on the head. You're permanently losing the billable capacity for that next job they are now delayed for. Our data actually shows that inefficient routing and manual schedule delays quietly devour 10 to 20% of total operational costs.
Wait, really? 20%? That is huge.
It is massive. And in an industry with really tight margins, that 20% is the entire difference between a business scaling aggressively and one that is just barely treading water.
Well, I want to push back on the idea of perfect routing for a second, though. I mean, any dispatcher will tell you that the schedule inevitably blows up by 9 in the morning.
Oh, sure. The morning chaos is very real.
Yeah, emergency calls come in or complex jobs run long. You end up doing that whole north-south-north routing shuffle. But you do that because you have to respond to urgent realities on the ground, right? Not just because you planned the day poorly.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
But that dynamic, unpredictable schedule is precisely why static tools like whiteboards and spreadsheets fail so badly.
Because they cannot adapt fast enough.
Exactly. A human dispatcher can only process a few variables at once. Usually they're just asking who is available and who is geographically closest.
Yeah.
But algorithmic routing looks at the entire board instantly.
Oh, so it sees the whole picture.
Right. Smart tools calculate real-time traffic patterns, specific technician skill sets, and the cascading impact of moving a later appointment.
Which a person just cannot do in their head on the fly.
No, it is impossible. The blog article points out that optimizing this process cuts travel time by 25 to 35%. It literally shifts the math from windshield time to wrench time.
Windshield time to wrench time. I like that.
Yeah, and that shift boosts daily job completion by up to 40%. And that is without working your crews any harder.
That is incredible. It fundamentally shifts the mathematical burden off the human dispatcher so they can actually focus on strategy, which, brings up the next major friction point, tracking the actual work on site.
Oh boy, paper timesheets.
Exactly. It is like archaeology at the end of the week. You are trying to guess if a scribble says 7:58 or 8:28. But when companies switch to digital tracking with GPS verification, you inevitably get pushback from the crew.
Sure, no one likes feeling tracked.
Right. There is this real psychological hurdle where employees feel like Big Brother is watching them. How do you get past that?
Well, implementing new tech always creates friction. You really have to reframe the mechanism for your team. GPS verification is not about micromanaging or catching someone sneaking an extra 5 minutes on lunch.
So it is not a surveillance tool.
Not at all. It is about protecting the integrity of your job, costing data. When your team punches in from their phones and it is GPS verified, you eliminate the guesswork.
And you stop the accidental time theft that ruins accurate billing, right?
Precisely. Plus, having real-time API visibility allows you to see that a job is running long while it is actually happening.
Oh, so you can proactively call the next customer to adjust expectations.
Exactly, rather than apologizing after the fact.
Yeah.
Use the data to catch a cascading delay before it wrecks the entire afternoon schedule.
That makes so much sense, catching the snowball before it causes an avalanche.
That proactive capability really changes the whole dynamic of a business. But to make it stick, you have to involve your field crews in a continuous improvement loop.
Because they are the ones out there dealing with the site access issues or the inventory shortages.
Right. If you use the digital data to fix the bottlenecks that frustrate them, they quickly realize the system is there to make their day smoother, not just to track their coordinates.
That completely flips the script on how we view field management.
It really does. It becomes a tool for them, not against them.
So for everyone listening, think about this. If optimizing your routing and digitizing paper timesheets can instantly reclaim 20% of your operational costs, what other unavoidable daily business headaches are actually just outdated processes waiting for a modern upgrade?
That is exactly where real growth begins.
This episode of Time Well Spent was brought to you by LaborSync. Track employee hours and job site locations in real time from any device. Start your risk-free trial today at laborsync.com.